You catch them looking, they look away, and your brain replays that tiny moment all night. Because deep down you already know attraction rarely announces itself with words anybody can safely trust. It leaks through pauses, stolen glances, nervous hands, and weird little behaviors people swear mean nothing. And if you have walked away wondering, was that chemistry or was I delusional? Stay here. Because some signs are obvious, but the strongest ones look so small most people miss them. Tonight you will learn 7 body language signals that reveal attraction before anyone admits a thing. The 3 will help you quit second guessing, but the 7th changes how you read everything. And once you see these patterns clearly, certain confusing interactions will suddenly become embarrassingly obvious again. Start with the glance that keeps happening even when there is no practical reason for it. Most people think attraction means staring, but real attraction usually looks more like controlled stealing glances. They look, retreat, then drift back again like their attention is attached to you by string. In a crowded room, their eyes keep checking whether you are laughing, leaving, talking, or noticing. That is not random scanning, it is the brain repeatedly placing you at the center somehow. Humans monitor what matters and attraction quietly upgrades you from background furniture to emotionally relevant information. Think about the coworker keeps glancing over during meetings and suddenly studies their notebook hard. They are not bored. They are regulating the exact amount of interest they think is safe. The difference is repetition, because curiosity glances happen once, while attraction glances keep returning like debt. If it happens across different moments, different moods, and different distractions, pay attention to the pattern. Especially when the look arrives right after you speak, laugh, or enter their side of space. That timing matters because attraction is rarely passive. It reacts instantly to your presence and energy. So stop asking did they look and start asking how often do they return there again. Repeated eyes are usually the first leak because attention goes where hidden desire already lives quietly. The second sign starts lower because bodies tell the truth even when faces stay professionally calm. Watch their feet, knees, shoulders, and hips, especially when they are talking to someone else nearby. If those points keep angling toward you, their nervous system is already choosing a direction there. People can control sentences, smiles, and posture, but their physical orientation often betrays their actual interest. It happens at parties when someone's whole body stays open toward you during a group conversation. Their chest faces you, their feet point closer, and they keep leaving a doorway open there. Even when another person is speaking, their torso still favors you like a compass needle does. That matters because orientation is commitment. The body invests position before the mouth risks rejection verbally. You see it on dates, but also in hallways, classrooms, coffee lines, and elevator silences too. Someone interested keeps unconsciously reducing angles because closeness feels rewarding even before touch becomes possible physically. Someone uninterested turns outward, scans exits, squares away, and leaves their body available to everything else. So if their body keeps choosing you when their words remain neutral, trust the geometry anyway. Attraction often appears as alignment first because the body moves closer to what feels emotionally magnetic. And once you notice that silent leaning compass, you cannot unsee it in ordinary rooms again. The third sign looks almost vain, but it is usually anxiety trying to look attractive somehow. They adjust their hair, fix sleeves, smooth shirts, touch necklaces, or check posture when you appear. It can happen in one fast second, like your presence turns them into their own mirror. This is called preening, and it is not always conscious flattering or even graceful looking either. Sometimes they straighten up the second you walk in, then pretend nothing just changed at all. Sometimes they pull down a jacket, wet their lips, or suddenly care about their collar again. That behavior is not narcissism. It is self-presentation triggered by somebody whose opinion suddenly matters. Your presence creates awareness, and awareness creates adjustment, because attraction makes people imagine being seen closely. Think about the person who never fixes their hair until you step around the corner suddenly. Suddenly their shoulders rise, their shirt gets tugged, and their face rearranges into accidental readiness mode. The important detail is timing, because the adjustment follows your arrival, not some random bathroom impulse. If it repeats, they are not just grooming, they are calibrating themselves for your attention specifically. And people only calibrate like that when the interaction feels meaningful, risky, or pleasantly charged somehow. Attraction often makes people tidy the frame before stepping deeper into the picture beside you anyway. Before the next sign, if this already sounds familiar, like the video and subscribe for more. And comment which signal has confused you most, because that answer says plenty by itself too. The fourth sign is mirroring, and it is one of the sneakiest attraction tells anywhere around. They match your rhythm without noticing, copying your posture, pace, hand movements, or speaking energy subtly. You lean on the counter, and minutes later they are leaning almost the same way too. You lower your voice, and somehow they soften theirs, as if your body set tempo first. This happens because people naturally synchronize with those they feel safe, engaged, or drawn toward most. Mirroring builds connection fast, but it also reveals connection that was already forming underneath there first. Watch your repeated overlap, not one random copied pose, because one coincidence means almost nothing alone. Real mirroring feels like a conversation between nervous systems, not a theatrical imitation for your benefit. Maybe you cross your legs, and later they mirror the angle without breaking eye contact either. Maybe you smile slowly, and their smile arrives with that same relaxed timing later too, somehow. Maybe you reach for your drink and they reach for theirs, like a delayed echo back. Attraction loves similarity because similarity feels safe, and safety lets desire get closer without panic flaring. So, when somebody starts syncing with your movements, pay attention to the emotional weather there immediately. Bodies that want connection often begin rehearsing together before either person says anything direct openly first. The fifth sign is distance, or more specifically, the quiet ways attraction shortens it between people. Someone interested rarely stays perfectly neutral in space. They keep edging a little closer instead naturally. Not enough to alarm you, just enough to test whether closeness feels welcome to you yet. They lean in during jokes, step nearer during quiet moments, or linger after everyone moves away. That shrinking distance matters, because space is precious, and attraction makes people spend it carefully anyway. You notice it when someone could stand anywhere, yet somehow keeps choosing to spot beside you. Not touching maybe, but close enough that leaving a gap would feel deliberate between you both. That is because attraction does not always rush toward contact often, and negotiates distance first carefully. Think about the friend who suddenly sits closer on the couch after months of normal distance. Or the colleague who pauses near your desk longer than the conversation actually requires each day. The body moves closer first, hoping the moment can hold that extra voltage without turning obvious. And if you subtly lean back, attraction often watches carefully to see whether you return closer. Because proximity is a question, and every small movement becomes part of the answer there too. Desire usually does not sprint into space, it inches forward and waits for permission quietly first. The sixth sign looks messy because attraction often shows up as weirdly unstable behavior around you. People expect confidence around desire, but real attraction often creates awkwardness before it creates smoothness later. Their hands fidget, their blinking changes, their laugh lands strangely, and simple words get tangled fast. They might tease too much, talk too quickly, or forget what they were saying mid-sentence. None of that automatically means attraction, but it matters when the awkwardness is specific to you. Around everyone else, they seem steady, funny, relaxed, and effortlessly conversational in nearly every setting daily. Around you, they drop a fork, repeat a sentence, or suddenly overthink where to stand next. That contrast matters because nervousness is not random. It shows where emotional stakes suddenly rise highest. Attraction can make confident people weird because being seen by somebody important suddenly feels dangerous too. They want to impress you, but wanting that too much scrambles their timing in real time. So watch for a selective awkwardness, especially the kind that appears right when attention narrows between you. A shaky laugh, a rushed sentence, or clumsy hands can be a loud whisper of attraction. Desire is not always smooth cinema. Sometimes it looks like a glitch in otherwise polished software. When somebody gets a little scrambled only around you, your effect on them is probably real. The seventh sign is the one most people miss because it does not look intense enough. Everyone watches for fireworks, but secret attraction often appears first as unusual softness instead of intensity. Not performance, not flirting, not peacocking, just a visible drop in their armor when you arrive. Their face softens, their shoulders unclench, and their breathing gets slower when you're near them. This matters because real attraction is not only excitement, it is relief too in your presence. Relief that they can stop performing, stop defending, and just exist a little more honestly there. When someone likes you deeply, your presence can calm them even while it excites them inside. That is the part newbies miss because chemistry is not only heat, it is ease too. You see it in the exhale, the lowered guard, the slower smile that actually reaches calm. You hear it in the voice that drops performative sharpness and becomes warmer around you naturally. You feel it when silence stops being awkward and starts feeling charged, private, and strangely safe. That is not boredom or friendliness alone. That is nervous system just meeting attraction halfway there. And trust matters more than flashy signals because people only relax where they want to stay. So the deepest side of attraction is not tension alone. It is tension mixed with comfort. Now, before you start romanticizing every glance in your zip code, remember context still matters here. One sign can mean mood, habit, anxiety, politeness, or simple coincidence on an ordinary day too. But when several signs cluster around the same person, repeatedly the message gets impossible to ignore. Repeated glances, angled feet, mirrored movements, selective awkwardness, and softness together usually are not accidents either. That is when attraction stops being a fantasy and starts looking like a readable pattern instead. Also notice what happens after your tests, because attraction responds when you gently open the door. Hold eye contact, 1B longer, step slightly closer, or pause before ending the conversation yourself. If they meet you there, mirror back, or linger too, the pattern is strengthening right now. If they consistently pull away, flatten out, or redirect energy elsewhere, accept the answer gracefully then. Because the goal is not to imagine attraction everywhere, it is to read reality more clearly. And clarity is powerful because uncertainty can waste months that a single honest pattern could save. Maybe the person you keep dismissing is actually trying hard not to be obvious with you. Maybe the mixed signals were never mixed. Maybe you were watching only the loud signs before. Because attraction rarely shouts first. It tests, trembles, softens, and waits to be noticed by you. And the people who notice it best are not psychic. They are simply paying better attention. So next time somebody seems different around, you do not just ask whether they've looked interested. Real attraction is not the loudest signal. It is the moment somebody becomes softer and truer.